Here's a PSA, just in case you didn't remind yourself today. You are bomb, you are beautiful, and you are appreciated. Thanks for joining us here at The Research Her, the show working to improve the health disparities for women of color, one topic at a time. And little old me, I'm Alicia, here learning and growing with you as we research our way to wellness. Now let me diddy bop to the rest of this beat. So back in July, I went on this hiatus from Instagram, which I honestly tend to do once a year. I just kind of get a little like, I need to step away from this for a while. And one thing I was feeling was like, man, if Will Smith got on at the end of, 2017? And he kind of changed the game for me. It was like, if I'm not doing it like Will Smith, then I probably ain't doing this Instagram thing right. If I'm not inspiring, empowering somebody and improving and something, I ain't doing it right. So what's the point in socializing via media at that point? So that is why I kind of that was one reason. But the other reason is the one that I want to discuss today, which is, I'm sure I'm not alone with this, that love-hate, hate-love relationship that we have with social media and what research surrounds it. So I was curious about why Instagram is so triggering for me. Triggering for me. And it brought us to this topic. Some days I am so in love with being able to keep up with my people on the gram. Like, I can get on, keep up with my posse. What y'all doing? She went to the gym today. Like, I love that. Especially being in China. It gives me the opportunity to not feel so, like, excluded from the conversation. But then on those other days, somebody will post something on their page and you just look at it. You ever been astonished at how much of a flex it is, to the point where you like, why you always lying? Why you always lying? Ooh, oh my God. Stop fucking lying. And that's how I feel some days. And on my worst days, I get to comparing myself with other people. Like, bitch, why you not trying to get your abs like that? Now, why you not doing sit-ups right now? Now, when you look at your ass from this angle, it's a little bit flat. So you gotta pop a little on. Like, on those days, those are the worst. And I honestly gotta be like, wait. I'm that, and you are too. And I don't know if you're religious or anything. I know you hear this all the time, but we're all created perfectly perfect. I don't know how people normally say it, but I feel that we are all made perfectly perfect. Perfect for the lives that we live. Perfect for your life. When Judgment Day comes, God ain't gonna be like,
Hello, my daughter, you made it. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little bit worried. But why weren't you Beyonce?
No, sis. He straight up gonna be like,
my daughter, you made it. I was a little worried about you, but why weren't you?
And I know that our social media presence can sometimes make us forget that we need to be ourselves, because we are so easily accessible to other people's selves, and we all just going back and forth between our our exchange of culture. And I really think that this goes back to sustaining our mental health. So what does the research say about all of this, sis? I can't lie to y'all, I love Audible. It's literally the only way I listen to audiobooks. I stand for this app. And what I truly love about the app is the fact that it always knows what book I want to listen to next. But I know you a skeptic like me. And that's fine, because as a member of the Research Her Posse, boo, you get a free audiobook and 30-day trial. Just go to audibletrial.com/research and check it out. You have nothing to lose, so try it. Let me know how it goes. And we're back. I found a review article that outlined the research related to social media and body image concerns. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Or at least I thought it was perfect, but there is a lot missing. So let's get to talking about it. What happened? The overall consensus of the studies was that there is a relationship between social media usage and body image concerns. And these problems are consistent among teenagers, preteens, and people in their early 20s, although there, from what I saw, is a lack in age diversity amongst these studies. And what they found was that people who use Facebook report having a higher drive for ideal thinness, body surveillance, self-objectification, and comparison between themselves and others compared to like non-users. So people who don't use Facebook at all, they don't tend to do these things as much as people who do use Facebook. And I mean, that's for obvious reason. I think you're exposed to other people who don't get on Facebook. I mean, you compare yourself to the people you see every day, but when you get home, it's like, okay, fine. But what Facebook allows now is for us to bring people who we don't have to see again to the next day home with us and spending more time, looking at other people's lives. So it makes sense because you're just exposed to people more. And the study also found that those who posted, viewed, and liked pictures were more likely to have those feelings versus people who posted, viewed, and liked pictures a lot less. So the more you did those things, the more likely these were to occur. But that's also because you're just on the platform more. So that makes sense as well. All social media is plural, sis, do not have the same effect. So there needs to be more studies that evaluate the use of different social medium. For instance, on Facebook, there aren't as many pictures as like Instagram, where, as you're scrolling, you're constantly seeing pictures, where on Facebook, you can see a status. Also, another study showed that Facebook has more benefits for those who are experiencing low self-esteem and life satisfaction. So subjects got to go on Facebook and pretty much fill themselves up via social media on compliments and glorification. Which, have your opinion about how you feel about that. But there was this one study that really caught my attention that was done in 2015. And it shows that short exposure to Fitspiration images leads to an increase in negative mood and decreased self-esteem. Now, I thought that this was crazy, and I know that Cat Williams said, and he's problematic too, Mr. 13-inch hair, whatever, said that it's the steam of your mother self. But studies show something a little different, okay? They show that actually self-esteem is affected by exposure to Fitspiration pictures. Now, let me talk a little bit about what a Fitspiration picture is for those who don't know what that term is. Fitspiration means that someone who posts pictures of like abs and, working out and these type of pictures in hopes of inspiring someone to go out and go to the gym. Now, in the study, what they did was they compared the way that people felt after scrolling through a bunch of Fitspiration posts and found that they were more dissatisfied with their bodies and were in a worse mood. However, I must say that the viewers were inspired, though. The viewers were inspired to get up and go work out or go to the gym. So the pictures did do what they were intended to do,
But pause. How inspirational are the posts if they make people feel worse, So it's a give and a take with that one, in my opinion. Like, you giving and you taking with these type of posts. So I don't know. I would really love your opinion about what you think about it. Like, is it worth it to keep on posting? Let's continue that conversation on Instagram. Another note is that people were engaged with the post. So research shows that people who post working out and things get more engagement than if you just post a regular selfie or something like that. Now, the question is whether posting these healthy living type of posts translates into behavioral changes. So yes, one may mentally inspire someone to go out and make changes, but that doesn't mean that person got up, went to the gym when they saw their picture. That's something else that needs to be studied more. One thing that they noted was that these studies took place in a lab setting. So there may be a little bit of an issue with the results, because as opposed to like being in the bed scrolling through, or even maybe being at the gym and scrolling through, there may be a difference in the response because it wasn't in like a regular like living space. Also, they don't know what the cause was of the reaction. So was it the abs? Was it the ass? Was it the tits? We don't know what the actual component was that made people react the way they did. So now that we know this, how do we move forward? Now, it is common for us, I know I've done it, to use fit photos as a means of staying motivated and looking at a picture like, yes, okay, let me keep it moving because baby gotta get her back right, baby got back, yes, we trying to get that. Consider limiting the exposure though. So it's okay to feel like you're motivated, but limit it. I won't tell you what you want. What I don't want is to be looking at a picture and, okay, it's supposed to motivate me, but it's bringing me down. So am I getting all the benefits of the picture? So making sure to limit that. The paper warns against it completely though. They said like we should try to completely avoid using Instagram models for inspiration as a whole. The thing about this study that stood out for me was about 2 years ago, I went on like a fit following frenzy. I don't really know what else to call it, where I was just following anybody who had abs and anybody that was in the gym and had their workout clothes, specifically Black women, just to throw it out there, that were in the gym getting fit. And I'm like, okay. Are you talking? That's why I'm like, I'm reading this study and I'm like, are you talking to me when it comes to like what? Because I am someone who was following a lot of people who I felt were like motivating me and got me out of bed. And I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence about whether, this is a good thing or a bad thing that I chose to do that. And was my following them and, kind of like looking into getting inspiration, was it coming from a good place? That's still up in the air. But sometimes, like I said before, I would find myself when looking at pictures in comparison mode, like, okay, so maybe it wasn't the best thing for my mental health, if I gotta admit it. And the question I think I need to walk away with, and I don't know, maybe you can walk away with it with me, is, am I following pages that inspire me without any negative thoughts, without any caveats to the positive energy I'm getting from it? That's a question that I pose to you. I know that if there is any reason someone's following me and it makes them feel weird about themselves, I would prefer for you to mute me or unfollow me and not get that negative energy from my page. And I also had to ask myself, like, is it a good thing to post Fitspiration posts? Because I do like to work out. I thoroughly enjoy it. I've gotten less intense, or what should I say, like super extreme with my workouts. And I try to just do like 30 minutes of workouts per day. So my question to myself is, do I post like Fitspiration photos in order to inspire people? Because it does work. But I don't know if it's worth that extra caveat to the inspiration. Now, there are also studies that relate to actually being a poster on social media versus being a viewer. What I just mentioned were things related to being someone absorbing the content from other people's pages. Let's dial it back and talk about, or what does the science say about what one posts and their mental space or what they're thinking. So I'm sorry to say, and I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but studies found that if one, I'm not going to say you, if one posts on social media often, one may be slightly narcissistic, meaning I am guilty. I do tend to post a lot. Like, I go through like times where I post a lot and then I won't post a lot, but for the most part, they're relating that to narcissism. And I don't have a problem with it. I don't have any, I won't take it negatively. I'm not going to take it personally. Narcissism has a bad rep. It has, this kind of like this broad umbrella of definition. So I won't go into really what it means. But essentially the idea was you want to keep a positive image of yourself without any negative thoughts about you. Studies also found that narcissism is associated with the desire to have a large social media following and a concern for getting attention from others. Now, I don't know. I question this one a little bit more because I know in the world of like IG, it has become a way of marketing and a way of companies determining who they want to be and influence, who they want to promote their businesses and things like that. So I question this one a little bit more because people legitimately use social media these days, not just for free follows, but because it translates into dollar signs. And I would love to see a study that relates that. People who are using social media for their business and separating it from the people who are just Instagram famous, if that makes any sense. And maybe there isn't a difference. Maybe people became Instagram famous, then started using it as their business. I don't know. Something else that was found in this same study was people who scored high on like the narcissism spectrum were more likely to post revealing photos of themselves. So, with all the goodies showing. And to do more location check-ins than people who were low on the narcissism spectrum. These studies were also done in 2011 and using Facebook. So I didn't find, but if you find it, you can send it my way, something that was similarly done for Instagram. And I only mention Instagram because it is like the social media platform, I think, right now, or the one that I think the most about. Something interesting was that selfies debuted in 2004 as like a concept and as a word. And it wasn't until 2012 where it really skyrocketed and became like what it is today. Like, selfies is literally a word now. And it skyrocketed in 2012, like I said, by 17,000%. And that was from the Huffington Post. With the selfie idea in mind, there is no association between self-reported self-esteem and narcissism and overall posting of selfies. And the studies believes that is because when was this one done? I'm sorry, guys. I'll have the references in the show notes. But what they mentioned in the paper was that the reason may be associated with the fact that in the year that the study was done, you had the ability of cleaning up the picture and kind of shaping your face and making it look however you want it to look. So I'm thinking it may have been 2015 or something like that where this study was taking place. And at that point, you can then do whatever you want. So it has absolute, like, the amount of selfies you take, the amount of selfies you're posting has nothing to do with your self-esteem because you can be whoever you want to, essentially, on social media. And on a even more positive note, a study done by Amy Gonzalez found that self-esteem is helped when people scroll on their own pages. So baby, if you want to feel good about your self, you can go ahead and scroll through your own page and it'll make you. And I know, only reason that I was reading this and I was like, dang, this may be true, is I've done it. Like, I've gone on my own page and I'm like, how cool of a girl is she? And I don't know if it's just because literally my highlight reel, but I love my highlight reel. I feel good about my highlight reel. So if you want to feel good about, or if we want to talk about the positive studies of social media, it is found that scrolling through your own page actually helps with your self-esteem. Now, let's talk about the gaps in research, because that's just what I love to talk about, because I would hope that someday these studies will be done, and maybe by you. There needs to be eye-tracking devices used to determine what elements of images are triggering for people when we go back to that idea that social media has, some social body concerns. Also, there needs to be more focus on image-based platforms like Pinterest and Instagram. And a huge one that I saw was that there needs to be more studies undergone on women of color. So most of these studies were done on white women only, or they included a small fraction of women of color, but there was also no reports for the LGBT community and people with varied disabilities that I saw. Share if you find some, but there may be some different body image issues that you may find with someone who may be paralyzed or something of that nature, and we need to study those as well. So, our takeaways. How are we leaving this talk? How are we leaving this podcast? What do we think about when we go? I might cut that. Okay, so limit our social media intake to take smaller chunks of social media at a time. So maybe 10 to 15 minutes. There was a study that found that if you only scroll through for 10 to 15 minutes, there is really no effect on your self-esteem. Also, check who you're following, and this is my personal input. Check who you're following and determine if they are healthy for your mind. They aren't healthy for your mind, they have to go. Or now we have the ability to mute posts. So if you're not trying to hurt your friend feelings, so if you don't like following me, you don't gotta unfollow me. You could just mute me. Facebook blessed us with that mute button, and baby, I use it. Another thing, scroll through your own page. Get all the goodness of your highlight reel. You will enjoy what you see. Just trust me. Limit exposure to Fitstagram models. And someone out there, please study women of color. If you like the show, please rate and review. If you don't like the show, I know you gonna do what you want to do anyway, but I'm asking nicely. Please don't be mean and rude, because I done read some stuff in people's reviews, and I'm just asking nicely. Don't be rude. Please don't be so rude. You can find me at The Research Her on Twitter, IG, and Facebook, or by visiting theresearcher.com, theresearcher.com. Okay, that is staying, and I hope you're staying as well, okay? I hope you're staying. I hope that you tune in for the next episode.